Hello, and you're very welcome to this episode of the Farming Week, the podcast from Agriland that keeps you up to date with all the latest in Irish agriculture. I'm Francess McDonnell, and this week I'm joined by my colleague Kathleen O'Sullivan, and we're going to be talking about the Nitrates Derogation, how much in payments farmers can expect to get from two very important schemes, and we'll also take a look at the hottest heifer in the country. But first to a subject that's no stranger to this podcast, and that is the Nitrates Derogation. There's hardly been a week gone by that we haven't been talking about this, but there's been a really big development on this front. And let's just take a moment and hear what the Minister for Agriculture, Food and the Marine, Martin Hayden, had to say about it.
So I can confirm to the House today that it is the case that the Commission have finally agreed to put a proposal to that Nitrates Committee for an extension of the existing derogation. It is not a new derogation. It has different terms and conditions. It is around time and around conditions, and it has been, very sensitive negotiations. The proposal is for the nitrates derogation extension would be for a 3-year period, as I say, with new conditionality. And it is my intention, has been since then. I've worked very closely with a lot of key stakeholders on this, but this is a very sensitive issue because this still is only a proposal going to a committee, of a technical committee that have a vote on this. And we still don't have a derogation on the 1st of January unless that committee votes to approve this proposal from the Commission.
Thank you, Minister.
So my focus has been in the intervening period to continue to work with Member States to make sure that we get the result we need for Irish agriculture and our overall economy on the 9th of December.
So Kathleen, what is the latest in all of this?
Thanks, Francis. So we have gotten confirmation this morning from EU Environment Commissioner Jessica Roswell that the European Commission has submitted a draft proposal to the EU's Nitrates Committee to extend the Irish nitrates derogation. The Commissioner said that it is now up to the Member States to agree to this before the Commission can formally adopt the proposal. So the nitrates derogation, it allows farmers to exceed the limit of 170 kg of livestock manure nitrogen per hectare set down in the nitrates regulations, up to a maximum of 220 kg per hectare, subject to adherence to stricter rules. Now, Ireland is the only member state in the EU which currently still avails of such a derogation. A spokesperson for the Commission told Agriland today that the text of the proposal would need to be approved by the EU's Nitrates Committee in order to then be formally adopted by the Commission. The spokesperson said that any request for nitrates derogation is assessed on its merits, data on water quality and compliance with the Nitrates Directive. They added that the state of Irish waters is considered to be good even if nitrate concentrations are still high in some parts of the country. Ireland has taken and continues to take steps to address those issues, the spokesperson said. The Environment Commissioner actually visited Ireland earlier this month to see the work being done here to improve water quality. Ireland's current derogation is set to expire at the end of this year, so this is a really critical time.
And although it is a very positive development, we don't yet have the nitrates derogation in our hands.
No, so I suppose what happens next is the big question, because there has been a lot of uncertainty for farmers for some time now around the future of the derogation. So this is a long-awaited update today, but wasn't one that was exactly expected to come about today. So a vote has been expected on Ireland's derogation at the EU's Nitrates Committee on December 9th. So this will be a key date in the calendar. Minister for Agriculture, Food and the Marine, Martin Hayden, has said today that the retention of the derogation, if passed by the Nitrates Committee, which is made up of representatives from Member States, will include new terms and conditions. The Minister said the proposal is for a nitrates derogation extension and it would be a 3-year period with new conditionality. Requirements will include the need for Ireland to conduct environmental assessments at catchment level to demonstrate compliance with the Habitats Directive, the Minister expects. So he added that he has been working with colleagues in Member States to ensure that the committee votes in favour of the proposal on December 9th. So I suppose definitely a key message here is we will have to see the conditions attached to the derogation to know what exactly an extension will mean for farmers. It is looking positive, but the devil is in the detail, of course.
Yeah, it's still quite a worrying time for anybody in derogation. But moving on now, hopefully farmers are going to begin to see payments from two very important schemes arrive in their bank accounts over the next couple of days. But Kathleen, it's not all been good news for some farmers, has it?
No, certainly not, Francis. So, firstly, Minister for Agriculture, Food and the Marine, Martin Hayden, this week confirmed that payments under the National Dairy Beef Weighing Scheme 2025 have commenced. In total, over 4 million has begun issuing to some over 8,100 participating farmers. The payments are made on over 204,000 calves. The core action for this scheme was the weighing of eligible calves by November 1st of this year, for which there was a payment of €20 per eligible calf. Now, like the National Beef Welfare Scheme and the National Sheep Welfare Scheme, however, the National Dairy Beef Weighing Scheme was also oversubscribed. The Department of Agriculture has confirmed the reduction in the number of eligible calves under the Dairy Beef Weighing Scheme from 50 to 31. So, as a result of the oversubscription of the scheme in the order of 1.4 million, this maximum number of calves payable under the scheme has been reduced.
Okay, and there's also going to be payments on the way to sheep farmers.
Yes, so the department confirmed this week also that payments valued at nearly 17 million under the Sheep Improvement Scheme have commenced issuing to over 15,000 participants. This scheme aims to enhance animal health and welfare in the sheep sector. So the scheme provides financial support to farmers for taking extra steps to improve the welfare of their flock and has a total allocation of 100 million over the period from 2023 to 2027. Same as last year, payments currently issuing are an 85% advance payment. The 15% balancing payment is due to commence in April 2026. Now, it's worth noting farmers are reminded by the department that if they have received correspondence seeking documentation or clarification, they should respond to that as quickly as possible to allow processing of outstanding cases to continue.
Kathleen, let's move on to an issue that's going to impact on a lot of farmers because from December 1st, all antiparasitic medicines are going to become prescription only medicines. So, what does this mean in practice?
Yeah, so these are big changes coming into effect from Monday after years of delays. So, the requirement for a veterinary prescription for antiparasitic veterinary medicines used in food producing animals is going to come into effect. Under the new rules, common antiparasitic treatments like wormers and fluke doses will require a veterinary prescription. So, farmers will need a prescription to continue to buy from their suppliers, such as co-ops and licensed merchants. It is also the case that the National Veterinary Prescription System must be used when prescribing medicines.
And there are some concerns that this could lead to an increase in prices, aren't there?
Yeah, so farmers have this week reiterated their concerns with the new rules. And according to the Irish Cattle and Sheep Farmers Association Animal Health and Welfare Chairperson John Barron, farmers are already seeing the impact of the upcoming move. The ICSA said farmers are being warned that prices are going to rise. John Barron said that some merchants have had no choice but to hire a vet or will have to hire a vet just to keep supplying farmers, he said. The ICSA has said there is a fear the new rules will undermine licensed merchants, add cost, add delay, and create unnecessary hassle without delivering any real improvement, it said this week. So we in Agriland will certainly be keen to hear farmers' views and feedback again when the rules come into effect.
Now, this is the time of year, as most of our listeners would understand, that it is particularly busy for flock owners with the countdown to official turkey season underway. But this year it is against the backdrop of increasing cases of bird flu across Europe. And unfortunately, Ireland hasn't escaped on that front. Kathleen, we're now sitting at 4 official outbreaks. Where is the latest restriction zones in relation to avian flu?
Yeah, so the Department of Agriculture confirmed a fourth outbreak of bird flu in a commercial turkey flock. It said the latest outbreak was confirmed in a holding in County Laois. Restriction zones have been established around the affected holding, which includes a 3-kilometre protection zone and a 10-kilometre surveillance zone, in line with national and EU legislation. The larger zone extends across parts of counties Laois, Offaly and Kildare. It has been over 2 weeks since the previous case of bird flu was confirmed in a commercial poultry flock in County Monaghan on November 10th. Cases were also confirmed by department officials in flocks in Carlow and Meath in early November. The department has confirmed to Agriland that since November 4th, approximately 80,000 turkeys have been culled on commercial premises due to the 4 outbreaks of highly pathogenic avian influenza.
Now, we know that this just isn't related to Ireland because there's been a huge upturn in cases right across Europe. But it is having an impact on exports from Ireland now, isn't it?
Yeah, so Hong Kong's Food Safety Authority has said that imports of poultry meat and products from areas across a number of European countries and further afield have been suspended due to bird flu. So imports of poultry meat and products from areas including in Ireland and the UK, along with countries like France, Portugal, Poland, the Netherlands, Italy and Germany have been suspended. This is according to the Centre for Food Safety of the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department of Hong Kong. So, following each of the confirmed outbreaks in a commercial flock in Ireland, a notification made by the World Organisation for Animal Health, the authorities in Hong Kong moved to suspend the import of poultry meat and products coming from the relevant areas with immediate effect to protect public health in Hong Kong, authorities there said. So, in the first 9 months of this year, it is estimated that Hong Kong imported about 20 tonnes of frozen poultry meat from Ireland. The Centre for Food Safety of the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department of Hong Kong said it has contacted Irish authorities on the matter of bird flu and poultry import suspensions.
It is just a worrying time, though, for flock owners because, as we've said before, it's their peak season and they want to make sure that there's product on the shelves. But given all the anxiety, I know that the Minister has been talking about how biosecurity measures must be in place, and that's a key issue for them at the moment. I just want to quickly also mention about a new development that has been referred to as a game changer this week by the Irish Forest Owners Group. It has said that the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine has committed to paying €1,200 for every forest management plan produced on a new online system, which has just been launched. The platform is called iPlan, and you can find out more about this story on Agriland.ie. Now, even though we could, because let's face it, there seems to be a never-ending stream of status yellow weather warnings from Met Éireann these days, we won't talk about the weather this week, but instead tell us about the hottest heifer in the country, Kathleen.
Absolutely. So a new record was set this week at the Carrick Winter Fair in Roscommon when a Tropique sired Belgian blue heifer sold for €33,500 on Monday. The heifer, polar bear, had been owned by Joe Davis from Williamstown, County Galway, and is understood to have been purchased by Newry-based Drumroy Limited. The 2025 Carrick Winter Fair weanling heifer sale broke several records, with that top prize of €33,500 and 268 commercial weanling heifers selling to an average sale price of €5,700. There were huge volumes of young people at the event this year to view the impressive quality of the commercial bred heifers on show. Cattle enthusiasts from across Ireland and further afield flocked to the ringside to watch the selling, with customers from across Ireland and Northern Ireland securing cattle in the sale. Heifers in the sale also found new homes as far afield as the UK and the Netherlands. Agriland also understands one buyer secured 60 heifers in the sale. A Truman Idol sired heifer owned by Derek Ford from County Galway took the second top price in the sale of €23,000, which is also a highlight. 2 heifers sold for €20,000, and these belonged to 2 separate vendors from counties Louth and Clare. It was certainly a great event this year, and you can read more about these and other highlights on the Agriland website.
Yeah, and that winning polar bear, it's just a fantastic name, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. Especially this time of year now.
Yeah. And just before we go, let me tell you about a brand new podcast from Agriland. It's called It Started with Slurry, and it features our very own Breffney O'Brien and Owen Lynch, the slurry mad Mitchelstown farmer who went viral at the National Ploughing Championships. On a very different note, you can also check out what the outlook is for milk prices in 2026 in our latest Agri Focus podcast.
We'll start next year with low milk prices, and that concerns me. On the other side, I see the upward potential. I see that the world population is still growing. I see that demand for dairy products is growing in Europe and in the US. On the longer term, if you ask me what will happen in 2026, are you more optimistic? Will it be a better year for farmers than 2025? I'm doubtful, and I think if you start the year with milk prices that start with a 3, then you're less optimistic than when you start the like in 2025.
But for now, it's a big thank you from Kathleen and myself for catching up with us on the Farming Week. And if you get a moment, please don't forget to rate, review and follow the Farming Week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And we hope you have a really good week ahead.